What's up, Raptors fans? Welcome to the Warriors Report. Raptors win. Raptors win. Raptors have now won 4 games in a row. And although that may not be a big deal to a lot of NBA teams, it is, given the fact that the Raptors have had to deal with so much the last couple seasons. And they beat a Milwaukee team who was without Giannis Antetokounmpo. But you know what? It doesn't matter. A win is a win. And we were on a back-to-back, our second night of a back-to-back. So the Raptors got a huge win against the Milwaukee Bucks. They are now over 500. So for today's video, I'm going to give you a quick recap of the game, and I'm going to jump into individual performances and stats, and I'm also going to give you my 3 stars of the game for the Toronto Raptors. So if you're excited about the Raptors, make sure to hit the like button as it helps get this video out a lot more. If you want to hit the subscribe button for more Raptors content, that'd be very much appreciated. We're super close to 2,800 subscribers. So with that being said, let's get into today's video. So the Raptors, in the first half, it seemed like their defense was non-existent, but we do have to give credit to the Milwaukee Bucks as well, who came out firing from the three-point line. In fact, they were shooting 61% from the three and the field goal in the first half. And you look at the Raptors, did a great job in the second half. But let's focus on the first half because the Milwaukee Bucks just had so many guys shooting three-pointers, so many guys we normally don't see play, but they're just going off and hitting a lot of three-pointers. And also, the big X factor for Milwaukee, he was coming off the bench, and yes, DeMarcus Cousins had himself a pretty good first half where he was just bullying the Raptors, and no Raptors could obviously stop him because we know the Raptors don't have a legitimate center, but he was just grabbing rebounds, he was getting in the paint, bullying them, and just really attacking the basket, hitting three-pointers as well. So I thought DeMarcus Cousins was huge for Milwaukee. Luckily for the Raptors, though, the Milwaukee Bucks weren't playing a lot of defense either, as the Raptors did get a bunch of points. As you see there, in the first and second quarter, they scored 35 and 33 points as well. So although they gave up 77 points in the first half to the Milwaukee Bucks, they scored quite a bit themselves, 68 to be exact. So I thought the Raptors did a great job of getting their baskets. A bunch of guys were hitting our three-pointers as well for the Raptors. But the Raptors in the second half just did a great job of defending DeMarcus Cousins. You notice anytime he got the ball, the Raptors there'd be 3 Raptors surrounding him, whether that's rebounding, whether they're trying to defend his, block his shots. I thought the Raptors really took him out of the game. So I thought they did a solid job in the second half, particularly in that third quarter. As you see there, they only gave up the Milwaukee Bucks 11 points. So I thought they did a great job, but great game for the Raptors. As I was saying, the Milwaukee Bucks were shooting 61% from the field and the three-point line at the halftime. And look at that percentage drop to 44.7 and 43.6 from the three for the Milwaukee Bucks. So I thought the Raptors did a tremendous job. Now let's get into individual performances for the Raptors. And what better player to start off than Pascal Siakam, who had himself a monster game. 33 points, 5 rebounds, 6 assists, 3 steals, 1 block, 13 of 23 from the field. And he was 2 of 4. And excuse me, guys, if you hear that noise, my little budgies are in the background. They're just going crazy. But Pascal Siakam just did a tremendous job of attacking the basket, just getting a lot of and ones and absolutely bullying Chris Middleton. I thought he did a great job. Chris Middleton is a solid defender as well, but Pascal Siakam was very physical with him, and it seemed like just Chris Middleton just could not hold his own when he was trying to guard Pascal Siakam. So I thought he did a solid job of that. I thought he could have moved the ball a little bit better. It seemed like a lot of Raptors starters in that first half were looking for their own individual stats and just kind of going with a lot of ISO plays. He didn't have another monster rebounding game, but that could be because the Milwaukee Bucks were doing a great job. And as I talked about, DeMarcus Cousins was just a beast for the Milwaukee Bucks in the first half there, but not another. We don't see him getting 12 rebounds, but that's okay. You know what? He was a beast on the offensive side. Did a pretty good job on the defensive side as well. Now let's talk about some other guys as well. Now, when we talk about Fred VanVleet, yet another surprising stat. He didn't have 30 points, but he still had a pretty decent night. 19 points, 3 rebounds, 5 assists, 2 steals, 1 block. One huge block off of a Milwaukee Bucks player who looked like he was at least 6'9", 6'10". And I mean, not Pascal, but Fred is 6 feet tall, barely. Just 6 feet tall. So that was a huge block for Fred VanVleet. He was 7 of 18 from the field and 5 of 10 from the three-point line. Fred had himself a pretty decent game. Now, it's not to say he didn't have himself a good game, but Fred VanVleet, I'm going to be a little bit critical of him because it did seem like, particularly in that second half. In the first half, he did great. I thought he was hitting his shots. He made some big baskets. But in the second half, it looked like he was forcing his shots a little bit. That could be due to fatigue. We do have to remember this is the second night of a back-to-back. But I thought he had himself a decent game. I thought, like I said, much like Pascal, I thought Fred could have moved the ball a little bit better. But you know what? A victory is a victory. Now let's talk about OG Anunoby. OG Anunoby 20 points, 6 rebounds, 2 assists, 6 of 10 from the field, and 4 of 7 from the three-point line. I thought OG Anunoby was hitting some big shots in that first half. I thought he did a great job when the Raptors just seemed like could not get a stop. OG Anunoby hit some big three-pointers, so I thought he did a great job. I didn't think he was playing very aggressive at times, but look, like I said, it didn't look like he was attacking the basket. He could have attacked a little bit more. He was settling for a few three-pointers, but it could just be the fact that, you know what, these guys are tired. Our starters play heavy minutes every game, it seems like. So it is probably just a case of fatigue and maybe not him wanting to drive as much and maybe just shooting a three-pointers. But I thought he did a great job defensively. He came up with some big rebounds as well and late in that fourth quarter as well. So I thought he did a good job overall. His defense is always going to be there, but 20 points were huge because we needed all of them because the Raptors were giving up a lot of points. But it is time to talk about Gary Trent Jr., who had himself a very quiet 22 points. When I took a look at his stats, I did not think he had 22 points. It really surprised me. 22 points, 5 rebounds, 2 assists, 0 steals. Another surprising stat. We didn't see Pascal get a huge amount of rebounds. We didn't see Fred VanVleet hit 30 points. And Gary Trent Jr. did not get more than a steal a game, which is very uncanny of these three players to do lately. But Gary Trent has been averaging 2+ steals all season long. But like I said, guys, I believe this is just a case of perhaps our starters just being fatigued due to the heavy minutes they played. And you know what? It is the Milwaukee Bucks. They're a really good team as well. We have to give them credit. But I thought Gary Trent Jr. hit some huge critical shots in that third quarter there. I thought there's times when the Raptors were playing really sloppy. Again, it could be the fact that our starters were tired. They were probably really feeling it. And perhaps that flight just came in late to Milwaukee last night. But I thought he did a great job of hitting some baskets. We really needed it. He did struggle a little bit from the three-point line, but that's all right, guys. Like I said, a victory is a victory. He got 3 of 10 from the field. That's all that matters. But let's talk about our 3 stars for tonight's game. So the third star for tonight's game is Fred VanVleet. I thought Fred VanVleet had a decent game. He could have had himself a better game, but he did hit some big shots in that first half, and we needed all of those points because the Raptors gave up a ton of points. And the Milwaukee Bucks are hitting every single one of their baskets. So he kind of kept us in that game. That was huge. And now let's move on to our second star of the game, and that is OG Anunoby. OG Anunoby just gives you the same thing over and over again, and you just never get tired of viewing it. Just really hard work, great gritty defense. We saw him play some huge rebounds as well as some big three-pointers, but just some offense just to relieve guys like Pascal and Fred VanVleet. So he's been huge for us this season. He was big for us today as well. His 20 points were huge. And the first star, guys, should come as to no surprise who that is, and that is Pascal Siakam. Now, this is the third game in a row where our first star should be very obvious because of the big performance we had, but Pascal Siakam looked like the Pascal Siakam of old, and you know what? If he continues to perform this way, he definitely deserves an all-star selection as well. Pascal Siakam has really come into his own the last 10 games, but I'm just loving what I'm seeing from the Raptors, chemistry-wise, and just how they're performing overall. But I do want to hear from you guys. What did you enjoy most about today's game? Let me know in the comment section below. You can also follow me on Instagram. It's the Warriors Report. Twitter is Warriors. So thank you guys so much for watching this video, and I hope you guys have yourselves a great day.